Well, hey there, Allen, Texas. It is time to talk real estate. And my vocabulary word right now is manic.
What?
We are seeing extreme changes based on every news headline. And this month, we're dealing about headlines about the bear stock market, another increase in the federal funds rate, and this time a whopping 75 basis points. And we're starting to hear maybe some news about a cooling job market on a national scale. So it's a trifecta of news that does not typically bode well for real estate. So what does all of this mean for our local market in Allen? Well, keep watching to find out. Hi, I'm Jennifer Shannon. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams serving the Allen area, and I love to be your resource for all things real estate. And part of that is updating you each month on what is happening right here in our local market. And this month, I want to talk about these big national headlines and talk about whether or not they're really affecting our local market. Now, before you keep watching, you do have to promise me that you're going to watch this whole video, because if you stop after this first part, you might freak out, start telling everyone the bubble has burst. So you do need to watch till the end because there are actually some good things happening. Do we have a deal? Yes! Okay. Now, before we jump into the monthly numbers, let's look in depth at showing activity here in Allen. So we're going to look at showings across different price ranges, and this is what happened for the month of May. We had an average of 5 to 19 showings per listing, depending on your price point. And when I change our parameters to look and see what happened for April, we saw that we were up to 27 showings per listing, depending on the price. So we can see from this that yes, demand is slowing, but you can also see that demand is still there. We have been predicting a softening of the market, and it's here. So another thing I want to show you is this search. And I'm going to link to this search in this video, or you can simply type in jshannon.kw.com/search, and you can do a search for homes in Allen that have dropped their price in the last 7 days. So if you take a look at all of these listings, there are a bunch in Allen that have done that, and some of these price drops are substantial. So this means that the days of naming your price and simply listing on the MLS are gone. You now have to be competitive with your pricing and do your research before going on the market. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at all of our stats for Allen. Interest rates at the recording of this video are at 5.78% with 0.9% in fees and points. And based on data from the Mortgage Bankers Association ending on June 15th, mortgage applications increased week over week at 6.6%, but decreased year over year by 16% from this same time a year ago. And that was when we were in a heightened real estate market. And for this data, I am looking at single family home sales in Allen, and these numbers are based on sales data from May. The average sales price was $721,411, a 46.4% increase from last year. We had 182 new listings hit the market, which was actually an 8.5 decrease over last year. And with these new listings, we are actually down in the number of homes for sale just because they're not sitting long. We currently just have 128 homes for sale. Now, we're actually up 50.6% from last year, but when we look at May of 2019, we had 372 homes for sale. So we're down 66% from pre-COVID levels. And the demand is also echoed in our months of supply. Regardless of the increase in interest rates and the increasing number of new listings, we still just have 1.1 months of inventory. So this means it would take just about 5 weeks for all of the houses on our MLS to go under contract based on the current demand. And the time it takes for a home to go under contract is just an average of 11 days right now. Super fast. And our average sales price per square foot is all the way up to $281 a square foot. And that is a 57% increase from last year. The amount homes are selling for over asking did drop from our record high in April, but we're still at an amazing 9.7% over asking. So when you look at our average sales price for May, it means that people are offering roughly $70,000 over the asking price to get under contract. And you can see from actual data that things are still positive when we compare everything to last year. Prices are up, time on market is low, inventory is still heavily in seller's market territory. So these national news headlines can sound scary. But as you can see, when you look at the numbers of what's actually happening here in our local market, it's not so bad. Now, are things slowing down? Yes. Are things less competitive for buyers? Yes. Will we probably see a little bit of a stall for the second part of June because of this federal funds rate increase? Yes. But is the bubble bursting? I don't think so, and I don't even think there's a bubble to burst. You see, the overall market for DFW is still strong. Look at these Dallas-Fort Worth economic indicators. The DFW economy expanded, payroll employment grew, unemployment went down, home sales went up, housing affordability actually improved in Q1. And on this report, it also shows that the DFW population went up over 97,000 folks from July 2020 to July 2021. And we've heard other stories on a national level, but they just don't line up with what's happening here. So this is why it is so important to look locally before making a determination on the real estate market. We also have so much interest in the DFW area with our growth in technology businesses, along with everybody just moving here for their own reasons. And this is fueling our housing market demand. And now I do believe it's possible we are going to see month over month shifts in pricing to adjust to this decrease in demand. And we can already see that in the number of substantial price drops hitting our MLS. But our overall year over year growth is still going to be very strong. So what's the takeaway? Well, buyers, it is a great time to start looking at the market again if you've been sitting it out for a little while. It is still predicted that interest rates will continue to rise. So it's an ideal time to get back in the market when your competition is not as strong, but you still have more buying power now than you would if rates do go up. And if you happen to be a power buyer, meaning a buyer that can pay with cash, the odds are greatly in your favor because sellers are starting to freak out right now. And sellers, you'll just have to start getting used to the idea of sitting on the market for a few weeks before going under contract, especially if you're pricing your home on the higher end of the comparable sales around you. If you are thinking of buying or selling in this market, let's talk. If you're a seller, you can attend one of my upcoming home selling webinars. In this webinar, we are going to talk about what it takes to sell your home in this market and give you a clear picture about the expectations on sellers right now. I'm also going to give you insight as to how to get even more out of the sale of your home because as you can see, if you've watched these last few minutes of this video, there's now more to it than just putting your home on the MLS and naming your price. We're also going to answer the question that most sellers are asking right now. Should you list now or should you wait? So just visit homesellingwebinar.com to sign up for one of these free upcoming virtual home selling webinars. And for buyers, I've got you too. You can always contact me directly about buying your next home in the Allen area or attend one of my upcoming free home buyer webinars. And this webinar is a huge help for buyers because we are going to talk about what to expect as a buyer in this market. We'll talk about how to make strong offers, and believe it or not, it's not simply about the amount of cash you're bringing to the table. I mean, cash helps, but there's more to it. And we'll talk about the process from a lending side, and I'll go into more details on market trends to let you know which submarkets have the least demand so you know where you might have more opportunity as a buyer. And I'll also answer the questions that most buyers are asking, which is, should you wait to see if prices go down before you buy? So visit homepurchasewebinar.com to get registered for this free online webinar. And as always, you can reach out to me directly by phone or text at 214-803-4444 or email me at jshannon@kw.com. Well, that is all I have for this video this month. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to updating you next month on all that's happening in the Allen real estate market. Bye now.